Good. I'd like to welcome everyone to the December 4th, 2017 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Everyone please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board. To my left is Vice President Gary Merrill. To my right is fellow Commissioner Barb Lewis and our County Administrator Mike Fulmer. Jennifer Walraven is our clerk today. We can start.
Resolution number 17-1274, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held November 30th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 17-1274. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment or elected official comment today, which brings us to item number 4, resolution number 17-1275, in the matter of approving purchase orders, sending out certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM APR 1201.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 17-1275. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1276, in the matter of declaring county personal property obsolete, unfit, or not needed for public use.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Hi, good morning. Kevin Savage at the Sheriff's Office. This morning we're coming to you to put several vehicles that we've had that finally got disposed of through the court to auction.
I saw the Jaguar in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. It's only got 56,000 miles on it.
Right.
Yeah.
How long have you been gathering these vehicles?
These vehicles have probably been through several years. Most of them are drug seizures or seizures through the Drug Task Force or purchased out of the LEAP drug grant. So they're just, the vehicles are due to be auctioned off now, but most of them are through criminal cases.
Okay. I don't know if you have a value estimate at this point.
I don't have one just yet on that, but this one should bring a pretty good dollar amount, I would imagine.
There's, 11 vehicles?
11 vehicles, I think 3 are Cadillacs, a Jaguar, some Bentley.
3 Cadillacs.
Okay. All right. Other questions? All right. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1276. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thanks, Kevin.
you.
Resolution number 17-1277, in the matter of approving a transfer of funds and transfer of appropriations for the Regional Sewer District.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag with the Regional Sewer District. These fund transfers were budgeted in 2017 for us to be able to move money from where we receive the revenues to move it into the accounts where we pay our bills. And then the transfer of appropriation is for projects that we had originally planned on performing with a contractor and have since changed to deciding to perform those in-house. It includes Elm Creek pump station upgrades, 4 RAS drives at OECC, and some filter upgrades at Elm Creek. So we're basically moving it from one account to the other to be able to perform that work in-house.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1277. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. Thanks.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Resolution number 17-1278, in the matter of approving the Second Amendment to the Child Placement Services Contract between the Delaware County Department of Job and Family Services, the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, and Advantage Family Outreach and Foster Care.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Steve Sikora here from Job and Family Services. I'm here to ask your permission for us to have a contract extension. Oh, I'm sorry, not a contract extension. That'll be next week, I think. So this is actually for a contract amendment. For much of 2017, we had multiple youth placed with Advantage, roughly averaging $3,100 per month per youth. In the last 2 months, they've added additional youth to that contract, so we're asking for us just to put $7,000 extra in that amendment.
That was the question I had, just how much more?
Yeah, it's just $7,000, so we don't anticipate any more for the rest of 2017. It's possible, but we never know with our placements when children will come into our custody, so it's possible, but we don't anticipate it, so we thought $7,000 would give us a little extra, just in case there's an extra placement.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1278, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1279, a resolution assigning authority to David Dombrowski, Director of Delaware County Department of Job and Family Services, to act as the Delaware County Board of Commissioners designee for approving inter-county adjustments of allocation funds.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Hello, Commissioners. Again, Steve Sikora with JFS. As Jennifer stated, this would give Director Dombrowski the opportunity to trade, receive, and give any unspent allocations, state or federal allocations, to other counties in the state of Ohio. So any funds being transferred are also subject to ODJFS monitoring and approval. So if it was not, there are checks and balances in this. So if it was not allowable, the state would let us know as well. So we are just asking that David would have the authority in order to make those decisions when we need funds or when we can help other counties with funds.
All right. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1279, Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you.
Resolution number 17-1280, a resolution of necessity for purchase or lease of automobile for the use of the county commissioners, any county department, board, commission, office, or agency, or any elected official for his or her employees.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Karen Watkins from the Juvenile and Probate Court. This is for a new transport vehicle. Currently, we have 4 vehicles that are anywhere between the age of 2003 to 2006 with more than 128,000 miles. This is for transporting our youth from different facilities, and it does include the cage.
I have a question for Cy. Cy, I know we're talking about evaluating our fleet in the first quarter. Is this something that we should do, or should we wait?
I think we should do it, because they need a cage.
Okay.
We would consider those separate from the rest of the vehicles.
We're certainly interested in having fleet vehicles for transport of just people, but because we have the necessity of the cage and we only have one newer vehicle, which we purchased in 2017, all the other 4 are unreliable at this point in time.
Okay. All right. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1280, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1281, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriations for juvenile court.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
The first one is in regards to the vehicle purchase that we just discussed, moving some funds down to the equipment line and for us to be able to go ahead and manage that purchase order throughout the end of the year. And then the second is the closing out of a previous grant project that we had and expending all of the funds. We've used much of it up with personnel appointments, but we have about $640 left that we'd like to move forward with purchasing incentives for the juveniles.
All right. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1281, Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Thanks.
Resolution number 17-1282, in the matter of accepting roads, approving recommended speed limits, releasing securities, and establishing stop conditions for North Farm Section 4, North Farm Section 8, and the Glade at Highland Lake Section 1.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer. The street and stormwater improvements in each of these subdivisions were completed last year, and the streets have been through the required one-year developer maintenance period. There are 22 lots in Glade at Highland Lake Section 1 and a total of 44 lots in North Farms. So we are now recommending that we accept the roads as well as establish the speed limits and the intersection stop control.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1282, Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1283, in the matter of approving right-of-way work permit summary sheet.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
There were 4 utility permit applications, nothing out of the ordinary here, and we recommend approval.
All right. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-1283, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Resolution number 17-1284, in the matter of approving a drainage easement vacation for Sunset Cove Estates, Reserve A, Division Number 1.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This is a small subdivision located off of Riverside Drive, just north of the zoo. There's a lot in this subdivision where the owner has requested that a portion of the drainage easement be vacated, and so we have received a new easement that will replace that existing easement. The house footprint basically impacts a very small portion of the platted easement, and so we reviewed the engineering to make sure that won't have any implications on drainage and so forth, and we are comfortable going ahead and recommending this drainage easement vacation.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1284. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Resolution number 17-1285, in the matter of approving a supplemental appropriation.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Cy Kelly, Deputy Administrator. This appropriation is needed to charge drainage petition costs back to the individual ditch projects, and I recommend your approval.
We do this every year, at the end of the year? typically?
Yeah, at the end of the year, because we don't know
Exactly what the
during the year what's going to be approved or not.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1285. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cy.
That brings us to administrator reports.
I have nothing today.
All right, Commissioner Merrill?
A couple of things, actually three things. Mr. Benton and I had the privilege of attending the Econ 411 Development Seminar Conference, whatever you want to call it. Especially enjoyed the speaker that we had over lunch, Mr. Ellis. I thought he did an outstanding job. I was very informative, looking forward to buying his book and reading that. I was honored to attend, privileged to attend the Pearl Harbor Memorial Service that they had at 12:45 yesterday at the Winter Street Bridge. And Brian Gallagher was one of the two individuals that they had a memorial wreath they placed in the water and to symbolize the loss of life on that day. And I say it was attended probably 100, 125 people, fairly well attended. And of course, yesterday afternoon at 2 o'clock, we had our open house at the courthouse. I thought that went well. Everybody seemed to be impressed with the facility. I heard nothing negative.
Yeah.
And it was also, we learned it was a great viewing place for the parades and stuff, because I saw people using it for that purpose.
Right,
So
right, there
we may
we
want to keep that in mind for course parades or whatever down the road. But a lot going on, and that's all I have.
Yeah, thanks, Jane, Sarah. I know there were a number of people that helped put that on. It was very well done, and I heard nothing but positive comments as well. It was kind of a fun day, and there were a lot of people watching the parade from the windows along Sandusky. So well done, and I think everybody really appreciated the chance to see the facility. On that Economic Development 411, just a couple other comments on that. As Commissioner Merrill mentioned, John Ellis spoke. He was a fascinating speaker, and his topic was a zero-price car. And what he's surmising or projecting is that eventually cars are going to come to almost be zero cost to the consumer, and that's because they have all these sensors in them that provide valuable information to companies, retailers, et cetera, who will pay for the right to gather that data. And I think a car has 80, 90 sensors in it today. Most new cars have 80 or 90 sensors in it, whether it's brake sensors, air temperature sensors, speed sensors, weather sensors, all those things that these various companies will pay for, and therefore he thinks someday there's going to be a zero-price car if you will sign up to release all this sensor information to retailers.
And the trade-off on that is loss of things that 20 years ago you'd never allow or want that kind of information known confidential, but today it's almost becoming accepted, good, bad, or indifferent. I think older people like myself see the bad of that, but the challenge was that do you want to pay the cost of the car, or you want to get it much cheaper by allowing this trade-off?
Your personal information to be gathered and sold. So it was a fascinating topic. And his comparison was, look at Amazon and Google. He said that's how they make money. That's how Amazon and Google make money today. gathering your surfing habits, your buying habits, whatever, and selling it to individual or companies who will pay for it. So anyway, again, fascinating topic. Morpsey, I went to the Morpsey breakout. They did talk about the Competitive Advantage Project, and they mentioned Delaware County as the poster child for taking advantage of that and being out in front of it. So they did talk about the Hyperloop as well, and a regional data advisory. I'm not sure if we're engaged in that or not. Anybody know if Steve Lewis is involved in the regional data advisory group? Because we ought to be. Marysville presented another session on being a connected city, not a smart city, but a connected city, which is different. A connected city, and Rob, you probably know more about this, is where they have stoplights and traffic flows that are connected and monitored by different devices. Not smart connections, but they just feed and they adjust traffic timing and signals and so on by. And Marysville's working on that, so that was interesting. Then Mark Kwame talked a lot about. He's the Jobs Ohio director. He talked a lot about technology is the future for Central Ohio, and we're very well positioned. He really thought the Midwest was very well positioned in general to take advantage. And he said, we're a lot cheaper. We have great education systems. We have great young technology expertise. So he really thinks that we've got a really bright future in technology because one example he used was the home he bought in the 80s in Palo Alto was like a 3-bedroom ranch, 1 bath.
1,400 square feet.
1,400 square feet, and it was $140,000. I mean, modest price. And now he said he saw it that it just sold for $1.6 million. So he said that will translate into people wanting to move out of the tech corridors there and into the Midwest because we got much lower cost technology, talent, good higher education, and so on. That's pretty much it. Although I do have to mention, we had one big major disappointment over the weekend.
Oh, we did.
Tri-Valley lost.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they got down to the 6-yard line with 6 seconds to go, and we're 1 score short of tying Trotwood, and the guy threw an interception, the quarterback threw an interception, so Tri-Valley did not win the Division III high school.
I have one comment, but with every defeat, there's always victories, too. I'll just leave that statement out there for people for themselves. And I don't believe you called him Commissioner Lewis. I don't believe you called him Commissioner Lewis, did you?
I did, didn't I?
I apologize. No, that's all right. I do have one thing. Heber Fuller, a freshman at Olentangy Orange High School, dedicated his Eagle Scout service project to providing books to students who in the Houston area who had lost their whole library, and he collected 18,000 books for this library. And there was a good story in the Gazette on it on November 29th, but all collected locally here, and it was great too. Even the transportation of the books, which I forget how much that would have cost, a lot of money, but that was also donated. But what a great project, and
There's some publicity and.
so congratulations to Rubo. And that's it.
Okay, all right. Executive session.
We do have need for executive session. Resolution number 17-1286, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of employment for pending or imminent litigation and to consider confidential information related to economic development.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1286. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Beckman?
Aye. All right, we're in executive session.
Okay.